Hey moms, so welcome back to the Momtrepreneur Life Coffee Chat. So these chats give you a behind the scenes look into the life of a momtrepreneur. These are uncut and unscripted. I do have some notes because I am a mom of 6, but these are honest chats with all the glamour of momtrepreneur life stripped away. So just a reminder that you can watch these chats and listen to the podcast. They're up on they're distributed on the podcast now, and I will leave the links below for that. And I also want to give a shout out to my awesome supporters who've bought me coffee. This is a coffee chat, so we are having some coffee. So if you would like to join the tribe of supporters, visit Ko-fi, that's ko-fi.com/Life Unboxed blog, and hit the support button. And it's really easy to do. You don't even need to create an account, which I like that part the best because I can't remember all the accounts I create. So be sure to check out this week's show, Time Management Hacks for Busy Moms. So I asked a few moms to give me their favorite hack and aha moments. So be sure to check it out in the link below. So now throw your hair up, grab your coffee in your favorite mug. And if you need a new favorite mug, there's a bunch in the Life Unboxed store. And let's talk about, does work-life balance exist? This, sorry. So this is probably the number one question I am asked. When people ask about my story, and I did a show on that over during Christmas time, so I'll put that down below for you as well. It doesn't take much for the eyes to get really big and their mouths to drop open. And then the inevitable question comes, how do you balance it all? So this show was actually inspired by a chapter that I started for my book. So as you know, if you've been listening to these chats, I am writing a book, and it's going to be pushing back on all the ideas that we are told are the only way to work and school. So I'm trying to decide if I want to give it away or not. Maybe I'll just keep him for now because it's still early. I've only got like 4 chapters done. So it really is a book that is going to give you permission to be a rebel mom. So one of the chapters I'm going to talk about this, does work-life balance exist? So I need some coffee. Yes, I'm still coughing from the big C. Anyway, so, and part of the reason I want to write the book is because there's so many things that I've tried because, you read, and I'm a skeptic. I'm a naturally born skeptic. So I don't just jump in with both feet. I have to hear it a few times from different sources before I go, okay, maybe this is something to consider. Yeah, I'm like the salesman's worst nightmare. But anyway, so it's really things that we've always been told, whether it's like other moms saying, well, you need to do this or you need to do it this way, or your kid shouldn't be your whole life, but then your career should be, all of these things that we are told that this is the right way to do. I'm just going to push back on all of those things. And it's not because I think I have all the answers. It's because I've tried them and they didn't work. And so for those moms out there who have said, I've done everything that I'm supposed to do, I have done it all right, I followed all the steps, and it never worked, then this book is going to be for you. So balance is one of those things that we're going to talk about. So I thought I would bring it up now because, this has been a hot topic for a few years now. I've watched the TED Talks, I've seen all the other videos on it. And, usually when you watch the TED Talk, you know, this is how they start out with on their journey of finding work-life balance. They quit their jobs. They're like, I just decided to quit my job and take a year off to find balance. Let me just laugh for a moment, because for those of us who have to live in reality and that can't happen, that's not going to work. That is just not going to work for us, especially like if you have a bunch of kids, or even if you have 3 kids or 2 kids and you're homeschooling them. Like, yeah, let's just take a year off from it all and let's figure out how to have balance. So in the midst of our mom life and momtrepreneur life busyness, how do we find balance? So the best description that I heard, and it is not my own, but I owned it when I heard it. And Simon Sinek was talking about balance. And I can't even remember everything. I was going to watch the video before I did this, but I'm like, whatever. I'm just going to give you my take. And anyway, so he described balance as walking a tightrope. And I'm like, oh my gosh, there's finally someone who like gets it. And he's not even a mom. But this image of like, you're in a 3-ring circus and it is your circus and these are your monkeys. Like, you have to own that. And you're walking the tightrope. Like, yes, that is this momtrepreneur life. That is what we're doing. We're trying to hold it steady. And sometimes it feels like we're on a unicycle and juggling while on the tightrope. You know what I mean? Like, someday, anyone else have those days? So I just felt like that was such a clear picture of what balance is for the momtrepreneur than, these Zen-like images that we see of the stones perfectly stacked and they're just sitting on the beach, totally serene. Yeah. Just throw in 6 screaming kids and it'll be good. But so does balance exist? It exists as if you're walking on a tightrope. And sometimes it does feel like you're on a unicycle juggling and someone keeps throwing balls up at you. Some days are like that. And you probably can't go and quit your job or, fire all your clients so that you can explore this idea of balance. But I do think you can find it. And so this is where I'm going to suggest don't look at this balance as a destination, but finding work-life balance is a day-to-day journey that you're on. So it's an everyday thing that you have to figure out. Some days you're going to I nailed it. Some days it's going to be like, those Pinterest nailed it pictures, yeah. I think there was a hashtag at one time where it was like nailed it, and it was all of these pentastrophes. That's what it is, pentastrophes. And some days your day is going to be like that when it comes to balance. But my encouragement, does it exist? I'm probably leaning more towards, I think it's overrated, and we just have to figure out the balance for today. Instead of, let me reach this final destination of balance. No, you're on a journey, and every day you have to find balance. Sometimes you'll nail it, and sometimes you'll nail it. But don't feel mom guilt about it. Just do the best that you can to find this balance, and know that a picture of the striped tent in your head and the monkeys and on the tightrope, that is the picture that you're going for. That is what you are trying to do when it comes to balance. And I'm going to get some more coffee here because, as you can hear, I'm still congested. So this is so here's some practical things when it comes to finding balance, because we are all my husband and I are still recovering from COVID. The kids are pretty much over it. There's no lingering effects with them. They're just like one and done. kind of a thing. We're still coughing and tired. We're past our quarantine and our contagious, which is kind of nice, so that we did go on a hot date Friday night because and we just needed to get out of the house. But I just realized, we went and ate, and then we went over to Barnes and Noble, had some retail therapy, and walked around. And then, like, I was so exhausted by the time we were done. We both were just so tired. And so this is one of those things where it's like, how do I find balance in the midst of, I still have stuff to do for clients. I still have deadlines to meet. I still have a blog to run. I still have kids that need to learn. But I'm exhausted. I'm really tired. So it is so right now my balance looks like, well, in the afternoons I go upstairs and I lay in bed for at least an hour, which is not something I do normally, but it's something that I just need to do right now. And at the moment, like, I'm not doing things like my normal habits, like working out or anything like that. So this is really, like, just being sick has really turned everything on its head. And the fact that it's such a lingering virus has really just kind of upset the apple cart. So it's going to be, and we are getting better, so it's just kind of a slow progression. So it's really going to be like, so this month has kind of been, we've all been sick and just trying to get better. And the next month is going to be trying to get back into all the routines that we've come out of. Because it's really easy to break a routine. It's really hard to get back into it. So, but that is, again, that's trying to find that balance. And the balance is truly day to day, because some days I feel better than other days. Some days I have more things to do that, I've put off. I can't just keep putting them off. They have to get done and get addressed. So that's a very practical spot I'm in when it comes to balance. So it is truly just day to day. So I have to admit, though, when I first got sick, because the first 3 days was just like, okay, not a big deal. I wasn't tired. That's what it was. I wasn't fatigued. So it was like day 4, like, that's when the exhaustion hit. And so I would bring down all, like, this huge stack of books that I wanted to read. And I'm like, yes, I'm just going to be able to, like, lay on the couch and read my books while I'm sick. And there's a lot of brainy books. Those are all my nonfiction books. And I had some fiction books. But let me tell you, I was so tired. I laid on the couch and I binged watched Matlock. Yes, I'm an old soul, my friends. I'm an old soul. But that is, and again, nothing really got accomplished. I didn't even cook. Like, thank God for people dropping off food, my family dropping off food, and then other people sending food. Like, and my oldest son cooking, because there was no way I was going to be able to get in the kitchen and do it. And so that's what that looked like when it comes to work-life balance. It was laying on the couch, binge watching Matlock. So it brought me back to, I think it was the second show, and I'll go back and find it. It was the second show of 2022, the Momtrepreneur chat. And I was really talking about needing to make peace with the fact that I'm only able to go as fast as I can go. And I know it sounds like an oxymoron, like, what are you talking about? But there's only a certain speed, and there's only certain things that I'm actually able to accomplish. And even though I find my slow pace sometimes, and it's not that I'm slow, it's just I'm busy. I got 6 kids, I'm homeschooling, I got stuff going on. So there's a lot of stuff that needs my attention. And so really just kind of making peace with that. My ideas will get done. They're not going to get done as fast as I want them to get done. So I'm just going to have to be okay with that. And as I was doing that show, it felt like, in my head, I'm thinking, like, I feel like I'm being prophetic here. And not that I am that way, or I see the future or anything like that, but it just felt like one of those things, like, I feel like there's a reason I am saying all this. And lo and behold, that reason has arrived. And so, like, when I was sick, like I said, reading is something I enjoy. It's easy, it's fun. But I was just so tired that even doing that simple task, and I was going to read my brainy books, like I was so excited. But just doing that simple task, like I just couldn't do it. So I say all this as an illustration of, work-life balance and making peace with the fact that it's not always going to look perfect. And no matter what your circumstances are, then you're going to have to adjust. So my final thought when it comes to, does work-life balance exist? I think it can exist if you want it to exist, but it doesn't look the same day to day. It changes. And so you have to find what really works for you and that balance for you, so that you're not an exhausted mom, you're not a frustrated mom, you're not a tired virtual assistant, and you can see your ideas come to fruition. And sometimes that means you have to make peace with the pace that you can move at right now. So on that note, let me know, what do you think about work-life balance? What do you think about the ideas that, yes, in order to achieve it, we're just going to quit our jobs and we're going to figure it out? So let me know, how do you find work-life balance for your day-to-day? And again, just a reminder, this is on the podcast, on YouTube. I'm also on Rumble. So you can catch all this great Momtrepreneur content from any of these, wherever you listen to podcasts, or pretty much wherever you watch videos, or just visit lifeunboxed.blog, and everything's on the website. Everything's on the homepage to easily connect via social media, all the avenues where I pour out my content. And then you can also support the show and my time by visiting Ko-fi, ko-fi.com/Life Unboxed blog, or shop at the store, buy a journal, and start writing about your work-life balance. There's some really fun ones, and there's going to be some more to come too. So I will see you in the next show, and let me know. I want to know, have you found that perfect Zen-like balance, or is it more three-ring circus, and you are the tightrope walker? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next show.